So first and foremost, I definitely have to give a big shout out to Jauron and his fiancé Takela for joining the Down to Business podcast and talking to us about all things J Marquel. But instead of me just giving y'all the regular spiel about some of the points that we hit on, some of the things that you can look forward to, and even how to tap in and get with them, I want to really show y'all. It's another thing to, we tell people all the time here on the podcast to go shop, to go support, to go tap in, to go tune in. So it's one thing to just to visit a website, click a link, do this, do that, put in some information. But it's another thing when you got the product sitting right in front of you. So another shout out to them. You see the brand in there, you see the box, open it up a little bit. Ooh, I don't know about y'all, but that face caught my eye. But let me actually, I'm not gonna keep it in the box for y'all. I'm gonna actually show y'all what it's like on wrist, how it feels, the sleek design and everything like that. And I'm gonna show y'all a couple of other things that he sent me and how we can, make this thing happen. So you see it on the face, you see it on the wrist, you see the face, got the branding in there, even got it engraved on the actual buckle itself. Love that. And you may look at this band, you may think, oh, that's not my style tomorrow. What about something else? We got flavors. You can switch it up, different colors, different styles, all genuine leather, all free shipping in the United States, man. Shout out to J Marquel. But so when I first got this, when I ordered when we came through with the products and everything like that, I was thoroughly impressed as soon as I opened it. I'll even show you guys the picture that I took after we introduced the episode. But something that really caught my eye, something that I picked up as soon as I opened the package was this. So much so I still have it in the plastic. Like, you see the glare on it. This is probably one of the most dopest branding items I've ever seen. So you see the logo on the front, you see the colors, and then you got the information on the back. Might not be able to see everything. I'll show y'all the bigger pamphlet, but this was something, and it got a little weight to it. I've been in the gym, but it's got some shape to it. But I think this is something that, it's definitely eye-catching. It's definitely something that when you're at pop-up shops, when you're out and about, it's definitely a good marketing tool, a good way to promote. And I'm definitely glad that I was able to add this to my collection for sure. And then, obviously you gotta have the one to give to everybody, to pass on, to thank them and everything like that. So good branding all around, very fancy, very elegant. I really enjoyed the watch. It's so smooth, it almost feels weightless. It almost just feels like, I could rock this in all occasions. It looks good. You can make the manual adjustments. Even gave the instructions on how to, adjust the time, adjust the date, everything like that. So I hope you enjoy this episode just as much as I did. I really had a great time sitting down with them. I had a great time even switching it up just now, just to give y'all some intro into really what to expect. So. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast. And so, first and foremost, for this episode, I got to shout out my man Aaron Caldwell for putting me in position, allowing me to do this interview. Man, he was somebody who I actually brought on the podcast previously, but he's also been someone who, even before he knew about the podcast, even before he came on himself to give his game, give his gems, and even talk about a lot of the work he's been doing with veterans, he's just been instrumental, man. He has definitely plugged me in with people. He's still plugging me in with people to date. I wouldn't be sitting across from these two beautiful people had he not, talked to me, stopped to me, came in my job and did everything like that. But Aaron has definitely been somebody who's been instrumental in this process. The moment he found out that, I was very interested in just connecting with business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives, anything like that, he had everybody for me. He was throwing people at me, throwing emails at me, throwing profiles at me. We were on Instagram kind of going back and forth and doing some things. He was showing me watches. He was showing me different, because one day we both had on a nice watch, and I complimented his watch. He complimented my watch, and then he started talking and said, yo, I got a couple of people. Actually, one of them is your fraternity brother. I think you need to tap in with him. He's really doing, some good work, some good things like that. And at the end of the day, he's trying to give himself more exposure and do all of that. So I wouldn't be sitting across from Jay. I wouldn't be sitting across from his fiancee Takela had he not, done that for me and made that connection. And as y'all can see, man, they came very official. Like, y'all see my backdrop. I just got the background. It's just a white wall, y'all. But they got the brand, they got the shirts on, they got the logo, they got everything. So I'm very excited, to just tap in with them, to pick their brain a little bit, to really talk about, it's one thing to get one business owner on here. It's one thing just for somebody to talk about their business, to talk about their craft, but it's another thing when two people, come into business together and you just hear, everything that goes into it. When you get more eyes, more minds, just more hands in the pot and everything like that, there's always just so much more influence and so much more power with that. So Jay, Takela, how we doing today? How's everything?
Doing
Doing fine. How
well,
about
thank
you?
you.
Good. I'm good. I can never complain, man. Whenever I get to sit down with two creative people at that, I'm happy. I'm in my element. So for those people, who may not know y'all, who may not know me, we may be just getting some people in between and everything like that. Can y'all, one, just tell me a little bit about yourselves? And then two, can you just tell me what brings you on the podcast today?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having us. And my name is Jauron Sneed, and this is my fiance, Takela Williams. And we are the owners of J Marquel Watch Company. And what brought us together here was my friend Aaron Caldwell, who you just talked about. He hit me up on Facebook and suggested that I link up with one of my a good friend of his, and say he's also your fraternity brother. So that's how it started. So I hit you up, and that's how we got together and started to make this happen. So we're excited to be here and tell about our brand and how we can be reached, and just tell how things are going for us so far, and tell you how we started.
Absolutely. I love that. So, okay. So I kind of gave it away a little bit in the intro and the teaser just because I was so excited about everything. But for the people who can't, who can't see the backdrop, who don't see it, who maybe didn't even catch the hint, just give us a little bit of insight into the brand. Why did y'all choose to kind of enter this particular niche in this particular industry, and how has it been able to serve y'all so far?
Well, what happened was the idea came to me years ago. Uh, it started maybe about 5 years ago. Well, first of all, I'm a victim of gun violence and confined to a wheelchair. So after my injury, I went back to school. Got my degree, got my undergraduate degree, and also went back and got my master's. So after completing my education, I started applying for jobs, and I applied for a lot of different jobs and just wasn't getting hired. Just applying for jobs, and I would go on some interviews and going to interviews, but just still wasn't able to gain employment. So what I did was I started getting frustrated and not being able to, because we were taught to, go to school after you graduate, apply for jobs, and enter the workforce. So it started being very discouraging for me. So after a while, I just lost confidence, and I even just stopped applying for jobs and sit at home for a couple of years. Just not doing anything. Just losing myself, drowning in sorrow for myself. And I used to sit outside on my deck, and I just pray and ask God, God, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? And like I say, He gave me the idea, but I ignored it. I kept applying for jobs and not getting jobs, and not being able to gain employment. So I kept talking to God, just asking Him, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? And I sit outside and I be to myself and I pray and ask God. And He tell me, He say, like, I gave you the vision, the idea years ago, but I just wasn't listening. So one day I'm at home, we're here at the house, and I'm venting, and she's listening, or at least I thought maybe she wasn't listening. So, she's on her computer or on her phone or whatever, probably maybe doing some shopping or whatever, and I'm still venting. So after I get finished venting, I say, did you hear anything I said? And she was like,
I'm
yeah. You're
listening.
right. She was like, yeah. Now, had that been me on the shoe on the other foot, and she'd have asked me that question, I'd be like, yeah, I heard you. And she'd be like, well, tell me what I said. I wouldn't be able to tell her. So, so anyway, she said, yeah, I heard you. So, after that, she said, okay. She said, in 5 years, what do you see yourself doing? I say, in 5 years, I'll still, I say, in 5 years, uh, I have my own watch company. I said, you got all these people around here wearing Michael Kors and all these other watches. Why they can't wear a J Marquel? And she stopped what she was doing. She looked and she said, baby, that's it. She said, that's what you need to be doing. I love the name. I like the way it sounds. And so we started from there. Now, prior to that, we had gotten she had took me to go get my passport because I've never been out the country and she'd been out the country many a times. So I had been saving up money to go out of the country. So, like after I told her what I wanted to do in 5 years, I said, well, instead of going out of the country, why don't we, the money that we save to go out of the country, why don't we just invest it into the company? And she was like, that's a good idea. Whatever you want to do, I got your back. We're going to make this happen. So the next day, I got up, I started doing my research. And from there, like I said, I started doing my research, getting my ideas together, still praying, still asking God. God said, I want you to be transparent with people, let them know your story, let them know what happened. And so after that, everything just started coming together. So, after I got my, after we, what I did next was, I started a crowd, GoFundMe page. I made a video to let people know what I was doing. So we put out a video asking people to donate, help us with the GoFundMe page. And what we did, we raised them enough money to start the company. And, from there on, that's what we started doing. Once we raised the money to start the company, everything just started coming together for us.
It's amazing. I hear so much in that response, just from how you started it, talking about the gun violence and everything like that. And my condolences definitely in that. But what that really immediately on the back end tells me is that your resilience, your mental strength and everything is just unlike any other. It takes a lot I think about many incidents in my life, just many things that I've gone through, just my thought process and everything, and how sometimes like we lose faith. We don't tap in with God. We question God. We doubt. I'll be the first to tell you that when I lost my mom back in 2011, I questioned my faith a lot. I questioned it just because a lot of it, I had the doctors literally tell me to my face, this was not supposed to happen. This was a 1 in a million death. Like, she didn't show any symptoms, anything like that. It just happened. So for me, it's just like, how does something like this happen to somebody that wasn't deserving of it? How does at least what I believe in, how does a God, who loves us, who gave his only gotten son for all of that, how does this turn of events really come to me? And for me, it was just like, as a 15-year-old man, it was just like, man, I don't know what to think. I don't know how to feel. It was frustration. It was anger. It was confusion. It was all of that. And so one of the last things I was doing was waking up, was going to sit outside and was going to talk to God. That was really like on the back burner. But for you, the fact that you continue to keep that faith, the fact that even through it all, even when you didn't know what to do, you sat at home, you were, like you said, you were feeling discouraged, you were losing hope in yourself. It was just all of that frustration, that pride as a man and everything. It was just hitting you all at one time. But the fact that you tapped in, you prayed, you sat on it, you waited. It wasn't always the easiest thing. It wasn't always something where, talking to a higher power, talking to God, it's not always something where you're getting a direct response, like a conversation, like right now. It's not like you're speaking it, you're saying how you feel, you're praying on it, and you're getting a direct, like, we definitely all have our different moments and scenarios and situations where we feel like the communication is there and things like that. But to be doing that day in and day out until something really comes to you, that's amazing to me. But then from there, the vacation, man, like you said, you had never been out of there. As somebody who's been out the country twice, I said, wow, any opportunity I get to go, I'm a hop on it. Actually, it's funny. I just saw something these last few days about how, the last few months, so June, July, and August were pretty much like the highest months for like flights, for traveling, for everything like that. And now how things are about to kind of twist and turn a little bit, how they're saying we might get some pre-pandemic flight prices and all of that. And now I'm looking at trips and I'm trying to plan out my October, my November, my December. So it's like the fact that, at the end of the day, y'all looked at each other. Y'all said, you know what? This is what we want to do. We had this money for one purpose. We had this money for one thing, but we here. I like the name. I like the sound. Let's make it happen. And the fact that even on the back end of that too, you woke up. You got the research going. You got it all happening. Because it's one thing to have an idea. It's one thing to just say, okay, I like this. This is what I want to do. This is what we're going to do. I got the name. I got the colors. I got the brand. I got the everything. It's another thing when you waking up and you say, okay, well, let me research. I may know that I like watches. I like how they look. I like the glimmer that they give off. I like the shine. I like accessories and all of that. But it's another thing to know the watch industry itself, to know that as a niche, to have that under your belt. Because I'm pretty sure in doing your research, you learned some things. There were probably some misconceptions that you had to, that you had to get over a little bit. There were probably some things in there that you had no idea of had you not searched it, had you not clicked the link, had you not went down that rabbit hole. Sometimes we call it up just trying to find out information. So that's so amazing to me how, one turn of event, one happening in your life really allowed this to spiral, but how, tapping in with your faith, really realizing that, like he said, like you said that he said to you, you had the vision, I gave it to you. It was just a matter of were you paying attention? Were you trying to go out the country so bad that you was missing everything that was right in front of you? Were you just so lost and down and out on yourself about, everything in your situation? That's not to say that your feelings are invalid at all. No, you're perfectly capable of feeling that way. You went through something very traumatic in your life that everybody doesn't experience and that everybody can live to still tell the story on that. But this whole time, and for you never lost sight of the vision. Yeah, you might have faltered a little bit. You might have took a couple of steps back, but at the end of the day, you wearing that shirt, you got that backdrop on, she's sitting right next to you for a reason, as it should be. So, okay. So I think about watches, man. I think about how much I love watches, how much, I was even looking at some of Aaron's watches and he only come in a couple times out the week. So, he going to put on his best when he come in. And so I'm asking questions and everything like that. So growing up and just you and just having your interest in everything like that, was there always just an interest in watches? What did anything propel that or spark that? What was that like for you?
Well, growing up, I've always been into fashion. And, I've always, been taught, you should dress nice, and I've always, as you grow up hearing, as a man should always have a nice watch, a nice belt, and a nice pair of shoes. So, I've always kind of, like been into the fashion and trying to keep up with the latest that's out. And so, like I say, when I was talking to God, and He gave me the idea of, I should have my own watch line, and I had to find my niche, as you say, and God just gave me the idea, and He said that, I want you to have a line of automatic watches because, it's just something that's different. It's something that where you don't have to worry about replacing the batteries. Also, He gave me the idea of just what's unique about our watches as well is that they only have 4 numbers on. That's the 11, the 1, the 5, and the 7. And if you use your imagination, it makes an X. If you use your imagination, and we know an X is like a chameleon. X is used in so many different ways. X is used in the alphabet. X is used in used as far for languages. It's used in in many different variations. So when I chose, when God told me, just use that X, it was something that was different. It was something that was unique. And, like I say, it just took off from there. So once I noticed that, I knew I kind of had something that was different from any other watch company, that have all the numbers or, maybe have maybe 4 numbers, but they weren't designed like mine was. So, that's something that was different. You have to have something unique, something that's different from everybody else.
Got you. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm not even going. I'm gonna let the people see that. Well, they already watched the video at the beginning, but I'm still in awe about a watch, from the instructions to just how it looked to the glimmer. Like I said, I may be a little biased just because I got one, but look, I'm telling everybody, look, tap in with it, man. It's It's amazing. And it's just not, you know, it's just not watches. They come in with some different things. They come in with all types of different accessories and all of that. So I love that. I love to, you know, hear just the intentionality behind it all, just the uniqueness behind it all at the same time. You know, coming into a lot of times when we start things, when we go into our own like space or our own lane, we want to just, we're so focused on sometimes just getting it out there, sometimes just letting people know, just saying, hey, I got this, doing that, let me just accomplish that. And it's nothing wrong with that, but you also want to be, you have to dare to be different, especially when you're entering an industry that everybody's in. Like you said, the Michael Kors, the Fossils, the Citizens, we can Invictus, like we can go on, you know, there are so many different watch brands out there. It's only one J Marquel, you know, so that's what I'm saying. But you have to also let people know that at the same time, you're not them. I'm me for a reason. I came into this with this type of terminology. Do you know why we have these 4 numbers on the watches? Do you know we're using all types of genuine leather, but it's all 100% real? Do you know that we do free shipping everywhere in the US? So that's what I'm saying. It's just certain things, because I do my research too. So it's just like, it's certain things about what y'all do, is certain things about the watches that are really unique to y'all, but that I love for sure. So what was it? Walk me through the process of, as somebody who is a one-man band, like I do all of this podcast and everything by myself, from the editing to the setting up to the reaching out to the promo to everything. I love the idea of, you know, having somebody by your side or having somebody there, or recognizing that at some point I'm gonna get to a point where we on TV, we making this a every week thing, or every we tuning in, we doing whatever we do. So I know that I'm gonna have to add people to that. But coming into this, having somebody, but not just anybody, having your fiance back your play, having your fiance be by your side, support you, and be every step of the way with you. What walk me through? I need to hear that, because I know that just had to be a surreal feeling to go from, you know, y'all about to go to vacation, y'all about to go Dubai, Bora Bora, wherever you name it, wherever your sky's the limit. But now to really lock in on the brand, to really lock in on the business, to really lock in on something that you love, how did that really make you feel?
Well, first of all, it made me feel great, really, because she never doubted me, and you know, she said, let's make this happen. Yeah. And you know, she gave me probably more confidence than I ever had myself. So you know, with her being my business partner, and you know, as we, you know, me bouncing ideas off of her, and with her giving her input, and you know, and at times, you know, with her being my business partner, we have to separate the relationship from the business. And you know, I think, you know, because you want, first of all, you want someone
gonna be a yes ma'am.
right, and you also want someone who sees your vision as well. But and she's not a yes man. So, you know, she's not gonna agree with every idea that I have. And you know, we bump heads at times, you know, I'm not, you know, but and a lot of times she end up being right. And she'll tell me quick. She said, it's not about you all the time. It's about what the customers want. And I have to look back and I say, you know what? You're right. So, you know, like I say, when going into business with someone, you want to be careful who you go into business with. You want to make sure that they see your vision, because you're bringing people into your dreams, into your reality, and you have to be careful about that. But like I say, you know, she's been very supportive of me, and you know, gave me all the confidence that I needed. But like I say, like she's not a yes man. She don't always agree with what I say. So, but and I like that about that, because that's how you want someone to be treated in your business. You don't want a yes man, someone who's just gonna go along with what you say all the time, and you know, that can be bad for business sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, and let me back up and say the name of our collection is called the Daydream Collection. And how that came about was when I used to sit outside and just daydream about my own watch line, and talk to God. And that's how I came up with the Daydream Collection.
I like that, man. That's amazing. I think that you touched on such an important point, how yes, somebody can support you, somebody can see the vision, somebody can see the goals and everything like that. but are they really challenging? Are they really throwing in that extra in there? Or are you just having somebody that's, okay, yeah, I like that. Go ahead, do it. You should. I think, you can tell when somebody, like y'all both said, somebody is just egging you on, just being that yes man or yes woman, versus somebody who they see the vision, they see the end goal, they want the best for you, but they're still going to challenge you. At the end of the day, we have to realize that there are probably some things that had I had somebody by my side, had I had really somebody in this with me, they would have told me, yo, maybe you should go this way. Maybe you should do that. Maybe you should do this. There are people who are really not even like a part of the podcast that I feel like are a part of the podcast just because of how much feedback they give me, of how much they tell me what's right from wrong. I would be remiss to just think that, it's my way or the highway. I don't even, if we're being very honest, I say it on a few episodes, so I'm not ashamed to say it now. I don't really listen to my podcast. Like, yes, I listen to it because I have to go back, edit, do all of that, everything like that. But I don't listen. Like, I'm not about to just go to YouTube, type in Down to Business, and we about to just play some episodes today. No, that's just not me. Like, I don't really, that's just not me. So, but at the end of the day, I put it out there for everybody else to give me the feedback, to let me know what's going on, to let me know what worked, what didn't work. Because I feel like, yes, I'm such a perfectionist myself. And I've gotten to the point where, I had to recognize that I was actually filling out something for an interview today. And it was just like, they were just like, what would be something that you feel like, you change or you just kind of switch up about how you kind of approach this? And I'd be like, and I straight up honestly said, I would have just stopped waiting. I would have stopped really trying to figure out what everybody else wanted, what everybody else was feeling, and would have just did it. Because the moment I want everything to be 100 or A+ or just that it. How do you upgrade from that? How do you improve from that? How do you, you have to, and not to say that you should just throw everything out there, not think about it, not strategize, not be intentional behind it, but also to stop just trying to, stop trying to be top dog every time. It's not going to work. It's not always going to work like that. If you're working towards something, if you're making progress, if you're doing that, then people are going to respect that. People are going to understand that. People are going to, flock to that. But at the same time, I also had to realize, just do it. What am I waiting for? What am I procrastinating for? What am I, the right moment? There is no right moment because I wait 2 weeks. I could have hindered myself for 2 weeks. I could have blocked the blessing 2 weeks ago. I could have, you're not, like you said, you were out there daydreaming. You were out there just figuring things out. Had it came to you a little quicker, who knows where you'd be? But it came to you exactly as it should have. And you had somebody backing you exactly as they should have and everything. So now, Takela, I kind of put the spotlight on you a little bit. So what was really your background, if anything, in like watches, in accessories, in everything? Why were you, because I hear just in Jay's thing that you were very supportive, and I get that, and I don't doubt that at all. But I also know that you were there to tell him, look, all right, let's think about this. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's make that. So before y'all really kind of branded yourselves, went into this business together and everything, did you have really any expertise, any experience with watches, what accessories? Was really just something that he brought to you and you kind of just said, let's go, let's learn it?
None at all. To be honest, I never thought of entrepreneurship in my vision at all. Like I have a corporate job. So when he told me this, I was like, I said, I'm gonna let you do it, but I'm with you though. And so, I saw him putting in the work and his ambition, just every step of the way, I could tell this is it. This is what he, I've heard him mention other things in the past and, not really follow through with them. But with this, I just knew. And I told him whatever I can do, I'm there for him.
And I think it makes it so much more surreal that this has been something for years. Like you said in the beginning, that this has been something that, it came to you. God said that I've been telling you, I've been showing you, I've been putting it in front of you. This has been your passion. You like that. It was something that stood out. And that's how I know this is really something that you wanted to do, that you really honed in on for a reason. Because, like you said, there have been plenty of things. I even think about it with myself. Plenty of initiatives, plenty of just motivations, or I might have watched the video and said, oh, I'm about to do that. A week later, I said, nah, I'm not, I can't, it's not really for me. Or I might have just heard somebody talking about something. Yo, I want you to talk to so-and-so about hop on this call with me. Let's figure this out. Okay, it sounds good. You my boy, I'm gonna do it. After the call, we follow up. I'm just like, look, might not be it. But for me, the podcast, for you to watch it was something that no matter what happened, no matter what twist, no matter what turn, no matter what obstacle came your way, at the end of the day, you still found your way to it. For me, it was leaving grad school, recognizing I was procrastinating, but recognizing I was working at Target. We sold the same microphone that I use in my podcast. So I'm sitting, I'm spending check after check on candy, on clothes, on whatever, on nonsense, traveling, doing whatever. Whole time the mic, the vision, what I want to do, my passion is sitting right in front of me, and I'm ignoring it. But it took me really having to, stop daydreaming, stop looking, stop waiting. And I put pressure on myself. Yo, you don't spend another dime unless it's on a bill until you buy this microphone. And I walked out of the store with that microphone, discount and all. So I would, but then after that, getting the microphone, seeing the microphone in my room now. Oh, well, I can't just let this sit here in the box. Well, let me unbox it. Oh, well, now that I unbox it, I got to put some action to this. Now I got to use it. I got to plug this up to something. I got to make it happen. Okay. Well, I can't just make this happen by myself. I want to bring people on. I got to start reaching out to people. So it's crazy how just one thing can just spiral into so much more. So I hear for you, Jay, not even being in business a year, both of y'all, not even really, this not even really hitting y'all where y'all really could be, but still doing dope things, great things. What's next for y'all? What are y'all thinking about where past halfway through the year now? We're almost in 2023 at this point, as it feels. What are just some of the goals? What are some of the things that you want to involve yourself in? What are some things that you even may have been researching about that you're interested in trying to put a spin on for J Marquel?
Well, we do have other ideas of where we want to go with the company. I will give you this little nugget. We are looking at from later on down the line, sunglasses, and you already have firsthand at that, because we sent you a pair of our sunglasses. But that's later on down the road. What my main focus is right now is to let everybody know about these luxury watches that we have. So we just trying to make sure one thing at a time. So we just trying to make sure
get ourselves out there.
Right.
We'll start doing some pop-up shops.
Yeah.
Let people know who we are. Let them come out. Touch, feel, see what the watches look like. Because like I say, people spend their hard-earned money, and I just want them to make sure that they're getting the best. They're getting a quality brand. When I always make sure I touch and feel every piece of merchandise that comes from the manufacturer to my hands, because I know what it's like. I know people, they want what they pay for. So, like I say, you're getting a luxury item, quality item. And like I say, I touch and feel every piece of merchandise before it's sent out. So, I just want to make sure to let people know that, you're getting the best from J Marquel.
I love that. Hey, look, man, you already heard him. Be on the lookout. I got some goods already. I'm not about to disclose everything. Y'all saw some of it at the beginning. So look, if I were y'all, I know I tell y'all to tap in with a lot of people, do a lot of different things, do this, do that. I mean it all though. And I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to keep doing it because, I'm sitting down with some of the best of the best, the dopest of the dopest, the most intentional of the intentional. You really can't get a lot of these other brands. Find me a representative from Citizen or Fossil or Invicta or, Michael Kors or whoever. Find me somebody who's going to sit down and really talk to, explain to you their watches and what they do, but not be trying to sell you on it. Because to me, hearing them talk, they're not trying to sell me anything. They sent it to me already, if we're being very honest. So, and that's not to say that they just sending stuff out here, y'all. Let's get that clear. But also, I want y'all to understand the authenticity behind certain things, the why, like he just said. He went through so much. He thought about so much. There were times where his watches probably were not even on the forefront of his mind, but he never lost sight of it. He always wanted to continue to do that, to continue to make that happen. So all I ask y'all to do, check out the website, check out the page. Any pop-up shops that y'all, because my man is getting to the pop-up shops now. I was so excited when he told me that they went to the first one. They had the products out there. They were getting in front of people. I think that that's so amazing. A pop-up shop is really such a dope concept and just a dope idea to me. So before I let him show y'all where to tap in, what to do, how to make everything happen, how to find them and everything, Jay, Takela, do y'all feel like, there's anything that we haven't touched on today? Any last words or any messages that y'all want to leave for other business owners, for other entrepreneurs, for other people, you know, who just may be on that same path, just having trouble navigating, having trouble really trying to find what they want to do, find their purpose, find their niche?
What I would say is, you know, if you're a spiritual person, pray on it. You know, that's what I would do. Pray on it, because we all have something that we're supposed to be doing. We all have some kind of vision, some kind of idea, and it's just up to us to make it happen. Do your research, write it down. You know, I can't stress enough of you know, praying on it. And like I say, you know, we all have like books on a shelf at home, and we walk by them each and every day, and they're just sitting there collecting dust. So that's just like an idea inside your head. It's just collecting dust until you pull that book off the shelf and open it up and read it, and it opens up the world of these ideas. Same thing with the vision in your head. Get it out your head, write it down on some paper, you know, pray over it, and start doing your research. You know, even if you have a child at home or whatever, and they come, hey, mama, dad, I got this idea. Work on the idea with them. You know, do your research on it. Don't just disregard it, or it seems like it may sound crazy. Any crazy idea, who knows what it might turn into. So don't kill their dreams. So like I say, you know, just, you know, do your research on it, and, you know, write it down. And that's basically about all I have.
And yeah, and I really think too, if one thing that I haven't really learned from you, Takela, from just hearing about this whole process and how it came to be, is just staying steadfast. It's just having faith and staying steadfast. You know, at the end of the day, nobody knew how things were going to play out. Y'all knew that y'all had passions, that y'all had aspirations, that you were supporting Jay and his endeavors and everything like that. Like you said, you had no experience. You were in corporate with it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you recognize somebody's ambition, somebody's drive towards something, somebody's passion. Sometimes having motivation is something. Seeing somebody else, it'll motivate you. It'll get you off. Yeah, it'll, you know, I have seen some people work so hard. I'm like, dang, well, what am I doing? Or what, all right, I got to do something for the podcast. Now he working too hard. She doing too much good stuff. But it's all in good fun. You know, it's all just in making sure that, you know, we're still aligning with what we say we want to do. So for y'all, it's so beautiful just because, one, this went from a vacation, from pleasure to, you know, just fun stuff, to just something that you had never done before, to now, okay, let me lock in on my goals. Let me lock in on my dreams. Because how I see this going is now the watches, the brand, the accessories, everything that's coming. Oh, you're going to be able to take a vacation whenever you want. You're going to be able to do what you want, go where you want, have fun with you want, rep the brand, bring the backdrop, do whatever y'all want. But it's the fact that, you know, you had to, like you said, you had to do that research. It took some tough days. It took some days where, you know, it was no direction. You didn't know where to turn, where to go, how you were feeling, everything like that. It took that. But in the end, you were down. You weren't out, though. You still prayed. You still daydreamed. You still did all of that. You still talked. You still had somebody by your side that was right there to say, hey, I may not know what you know. I may not be as in-depth as you are, but whatever you do, whatever you got going on, whatever you need, I'm right by your side. And at the end of the day, we need that, because then what that does, it allows her to learn. It allows her to follow every step by you, and also say, okay, so now that I'm learning, because you can't, you know, it's one thing to just speak on something, just have an opinion, just say, hey, no, I don't like that. I don't do that. But it's another thing where you paid attention to the research. You paid attention to what he was doing. You paid attention to what was working, what wasn't working. So now you can speak from a perspective. Okay, no, hold on. I'm not just disagreeing here. I'm not just saying you're wrong. I'm not just saying it's not about you, but I'm saying this because the consumers, the customers think about this, think about that. So the fact that that can all really come full circle, man, it's amazing. And the sky's the limit, man. I'm wishing so many more pop-up shops. I'm wishing so many more success. I'm already telling my ladies, my fellas, because fellas, this ain't just for y'all. Ladies, come on. They got some gems. Just listen to me. And they just getting started. So just tap in with them, please. But no, I'm really just so excited for the trajectory of this, for where y'all are going to continue to go, for the exposure y'all are going to get even outside y'all surrounding areas and everything. So before we officially close things out, before we wrap it up, can you just tell us the best place to tap in with y'all, the best place to find y'all, to learn about the products, to shop the products, everything like that?
Sure. You can find us at www.jmarquel.watch.com, and that'll bring up our website. And you can also follow us on Instagram at J Marquel Watches. That's at J Marquel Watches on Instagram, and on Facebook at www.jmarquelwatch.com. Also on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. And like I say, man, thank you for having us. And I really appreciate. This is my first podcast. Our first podcast.
Hey.
Yeah. So you broke us in, man. But like I say, I really do appreciate. And hats off to you for doing a exceptional job, man. Sky's the limit for you as well. So we really do appreciate it, man. Thank you for having us, man. Thank you for reaching out, man. So everybody, go to our website. Let's purchase some watches. Let everybody know about us. They're unisex watches,
Yep.
men and women.
Boy.
So both for men and women. So yeah, thank you again, man. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Anytime I see people doing good things, man, it was something that just a closing point too. Just in speaking about this interview I referenced earlier, something that the interview asked me was, what's a lesson that you had to unlearn? What was the backstory behind it? And so immediately I thought about I don't even really know if it's a saying, but just a mantra that a lot of people go by that I know of. And it was basically saying, I support those who support me. And originally, coming into the business, coming into just life in general, I understood that. I understood that you want to reciprocate that energy to those who are deserving of it. You want to reciprocate that energy to those who are showing you that love and everything. But something I realized too was I can't speak from such an authentic background. I can't tell myself that I'm just so genuine and intentional with everything that I'm doing, but not truly want the success of everyone. It's one thing for me to, I get the people who support me, family, friends, whatever. But what about the people who just are trying to get out there, who are going to the pop-up shops, who are just trying to get that exposure, who don't know me at all, but are still doing good things? I'd be remiss if I didn't repost that, because there's been plenty of things that I've reposted or I've shared or I've tagged or I've sent unbeknownst to those people, but it's benefited somebody else. Or now these people are connected or these doing that. So my biggest thing here, man, is really just to support everybody in any form or any fashion. Obviously, monetary will always just be the one that's just going to take the cake, because it's the one that can help. It's the one that can still fund the business. It's the one that allows people to bring more to y'all, because businesses don't realize, look, you buy a watch, they're not pocketing that money. They're putting that towards something else. So how you think they got the backdrop? How you think they got the shirts? How you think they get the watches? See, I ain't gonna show y'all my watch because asking too many questions. So, but what I'm saying is, look, ultimately there are so many different ways to support so many different people out here, so many different niches. Even if it's not for you, I repost wigs, I repost nails, I repost all of that, because why? I have women in my life. I know women that follow me. I have siblings. I have all of that, because if it can't be useful to me, it can be useful to somebody else. So I support everyone. And that's not to say that just because, you're returning that energy, you're reciprocating that to those people, that you're wrong or you're doing anything right. I'm just telling you my mantra and how I had to come into it, because at one point I was in that space. I was in that space where, if you wasn't really showing me love or reposting or commenting or I wasn't saying anything. But once I really realized that it was kind of holding me back, I was blocking blessings in a sense. Once I really just opened myself to any and everything and didn't really expect anything in return, oh man, well, that was when the blessings really started coming. That was when people were thanking me. That was when people were reaching out to me. People were repost, because people probably do the same with us. Repost us, share us, word of mouth, put us in rooms, and we don't even realize that we're there, So I think that's so important. So as much as y'all thank me, as much as y'all, motivate and encourage me, I really want to do the same to y'all, to many more podcasts, to many more pop-up shops, to many more watches, to many more accessories. I'm so just excited. I'm so happy. So to Jay, to Takela, thank you both. To everybody who continues to, tap in with the podcast, make things happen, support this vision. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.